All right, the latest news break coming in. The Union Culture Minister Mahesh Sharma has been allotted former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's house. Expressing happiness, Mahesh Sharma has said that the house has been allotted to him as per normal procedure. 10 Rajaji Marg will now be the address of Mahesh Sharma. All right, well, that's the latest that we are getting in. The house, which was the home of former President of India, APJ Abdul Kalam, will now be given to the Culture Minister, Mahesh Sharma. 10 Rajaji Marg now would be the residence of Mahesh Sharma. Well, there's been a fair bit of controversy on this entire issue, primarily because there is a certain set that believes that Mahesh Sharma, who has courted controversy with his comments, especially where the minority population of India is concerned, believe that he should not be given the address or given the house which houses the memory of Dr. Kalam. Well, on his account, Mahesh Sharma has said that the house has been allotted to him as per normal procedure, and he is extremely happy that he will now reside where the former President of India, Dr. APJ Kalam, lived. Let's listen in to the Culture Minister. All right, so what we will do now is cut across to our executive editor, Javed Ansari. We also have our editor, Shiv Arur, in the studio, in the newsroom to give us a larger perspective. Javed, let me come to you first. You know, few can forget Mahesh Sharma's comment on Dr. Kalam, where he went on record to say that despite being a Muslim, Dr. Kalam was a patriot.
Yes, it was unfortunate and uncalled for. Mr. Mahesh Sharma has developed a tendency and a reputation of speaking first and thinking later. He's now a Minister of the Union and he needs to weigh his words carefully. Now, as regards the issue of the house being allotted to Mr. Sharma, well, this house had to be allotted as per the rules. After the President or the Prime Minister passes away, his immediate family, which is his wife, gets to stay in that house. In Dr. Kalam's case, this doesn't hold true because Dr. Kalam died a bachelor, and therefore his family also desired that a memorial be built in his village in Rameshwaram,
right,
not in Delhi. And therefore the government has, with the concurrence of the family, decided now, because he doesn't have anybody else who will live in Delhi, to build a memorial, a suitable memorial in Rameshwaram and allot this house to anybody else, to somebody else. If it happens to be Mahesh Sharma, well, then so be it.
All right, Javed, appreciate you joining us. Let's cut across to Shiv as well. He's joining us from the newsroom. You know, Shiv, one can't, maybe look at the irony of it all, because look at what has happened in the last couple of months. You know, who can forget Mahesh Sharma coming on record and stating very clearly that Dr. Kalam, despite being a Muslim, was a patriot. Something really which didn't go down very well with a lot of people.
Well, if there's one thing we can say, Preeti, irony, thy name is VVIP Bungalow Allotment. I think this would be the right time to say it. Javed's absolutely right. This is due process. The house had to be allotted, and it's been allotted now to Minister Mahesh Sharma. But let's not forget that this is probably one of the most ironic, allotments that's ever happened. It's already sparked a political fight. According to some reports, the Aam Aadmi Party has jumped into the fray. They're criticizing this entire move. And you're absolutely right. How ironic is it that the culture minister of the country, who just a few weeks ago had said that, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is a patriot despite being a Muslim, his precise words that, caused an absolute furor of a controversy, has now been allotted the house of the very man he was speaking about, the people's president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. A lot of people are going to find this, distasteful. People are going to wonder whether, there are some kind of machinations that have been behind, Mahesh Sharma actually being allotted this particular house, whether there was any politics involved. So it's gonna obviously fuel a lot of conspiracy theories. The Aam Aadmi Party already jumping into the fray and, suggesting that this is an insult. We're waiting to get a quick reaction from the Aam Aadmi Party in just a bit on that as well. But I won't be surprised. I don't think anybody should be surprised if there is a degree of political anger over the culture minister, who's made a series of controversial statements, Preeti, including on things like beef, obviously on cultural aspects, on Sanskrit, and now on, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam himself saying that, he was a patriot despite being a Muslim. Whether he meant it in that way or he was misinterpreted, the BJP tried to fight that one. But let's not forget that this was a statement made by a union minister about the people's president, perhaps the most, popular president India has ever had. And now he's being allotted that very same bungalow. Now, of course, APJ Abdul Kalam was a man who travelled widely. He hardly ever actually lived at 10 Rajaji Marg, this VVIP Lutyens bungalow that was allotted to the president and now will be the new home of Culture Minister Mahesh Sharma. But I don't think anybody's going to let go of the irony that you highlighted right here, Preeti.
Shiv, we want to make that clear. This is not a controversy. This is due process that has been followed, and we want to report that. But like Shiv and I were talking about, because it's rather ironical there. Shiv, not just so much political backlash, because that's already coming through with the reactions of the Aam Aadmi Party. But they could have done without this allotment, because this is now going to blow up into a popular issue as well. There will be people, not just from the political stream, but people, across India who might just take offense on what's on this allotment.
Absolutely correct. I think it's an important point that you make, because after all, it is a group of humans, doing the allotment of such bungalows. Everyone is aware of that particular controversy and the comment that the minister actually made. So, can it simply be put down to due process? Could there have been a greater application of mind, to give the minister a different house? Does that even matter? All of these questions will obviously pop up, as, political anger sort of simmers over this allotment. You've got the Aam Aadmi Party, reportedly already making some comments in this regard. But the government on its side will say this is due process. No such considerations are taken, into account when houses are allotted. Like Javed said, ministers have to get a house. The culture minister hasn't yet been allotted a house, and when homes like these get freed up, they are allotted on a on a certain structure, on a certain basis. But the politics that you and I have just highlighted here, are undeniable, and I think it's only to be expected, that adversaries of the BJP government, people who've heckled Mahesh Sharma for the things he's said, the controversies that he's created, will be, perhaps justified in questioning the motive behind this and why there couldn't have been more sensitivity and application of mind in the allotment of this home.
Shiv, stay with me, because we are joined right now by Bhagwan Singh, senior journalist. Now, the reason we are talking to Bhagwan is because he is one of the first journalists who's actually raised this issue. And this issue will find resonance with a lot of people there on why allot the same house, whatever parameters that might be, which went on the due course that was followed, but maybe a little bit of discretion could have avoided this entire controversy. Bhagwan, if you're with me, what were, you've highlighted this entire issue. What were the reason behind it, according to you?
Well, when everybody, all the media here in Chennai was onto the actors union elections last, October 18, Sunday, News 7 Tamil broke the story of Kalam's house being vacated. All his books being packed up, put into boxes and loaded onto trucks, even his Veena to be sent to Rameshwaram, come close to 4,000 books.
Right.
And we were very upset, and when I asked the local BJP leader, Ganeshan, L. Ganeshan here, he said, don't make this a big issue. Because, anyway, we have decided to set up a Kalam's memorial in Rameshwaram. But who wanted a memorial? We are not interested in the memorial. The followers, the admirers, the students, everybody, the youth in the country wanted a...
All right. All right, we seem to have lost Bhagwan Singh. We're going to try and reconnect there. But let's move on in the bulletin. Let's get you the latest news break. And the reason that we're putting it forward is because it's already raised a fair bit of controversy. And the reason is that Dr. Kalam's bungalow will now be the bungalow of the Culture Minister, Mahesh Sharma. And there is a fair bit of controversy behind that as well. Just about a month or two ago, who can forget, the Culture Minister coming on record, making one of the most controversial statements involving the People's President, popularly known as the People's President, Dr. Kalam, where he said that despite being a Muslim, Dr. Kalam was a patriot. Now, there will be reason, and there is a line which goes on to suggest that maybe this allotment could have been avoided. When we do say that, we also want to make it clear that this is due process. It's not that Mr. Sharma has been given Dr. Kalam's home. For 11 months, he has not been allotted a home. He is a union minister, and as per the rota system, the next bungalow which got empty, coincidentally, was Dr. Kalam's, and that is going to be the new address of the culture minister. Shiv, if you're with me right now, we do have our editor Shiv in the newsroom with us. You know, Shiv, there would be, what you and I were talking about, there would be concerns raised, and it's due process, we understand that, but the BJP could have done without this controversy, because it's once again revisiting everything that Mahesh Sharma said, which deeply embarrassed the BJP.
Exactly, and that's what it's already done. You've got Kapil Mishra, the tourism minister of Delhi. He belongs to the Aam Aadmi Party, of course. Already throwing a question mark over the allotment of this particular bungalow, Dr. Kalam's bungalow, to Culture Minister Mahesh Sharma. Obviously, raising a question over the propriety of allotting this particular Lutyens bungalow to Mahesh Sharma, the Culture Minister. We've highlighted here, those are the pictures we're putting out to our viewers right now of that remark, which just a few weeks ago caused an enormous political controversy. It's something that had, repercussions all across the country. People were outraged everywhere in the country over what the culture minister had said. It was a remark that both the minister and the BJP said was misconstrued. That was not his intended meaning. The words may have come out wrong. That's what he said. But be that as it may, the words were reported, it created a huge controversy. So the irony is missed on nobody, that just a few weeks after he made that comment, shortly after Dr. Kalam's untimely demise, that the VVIP bungalow that Dr. Kalam was allotted has now been allotted to the minister who actually made that comment. The irony aside, I think the government, which hasn't, of course, put out an official clarification or a statement in response to this current controversy, will perhaps say that this is a due process. It's a bureaucratic process. There is a team that handles this, within Parliament, within the cabinet, where allotments of homes are made for ministers. So they have, I think, what could be seen as a solid, procedural defense. But like all things we report, Preeti, is a procedural defense ever really enough? What about sensitivity? What about a certain degree of humanity, application of mind, whether it will offend people politically, whether it will offend Kalam's own family, that the man who said despite being Muslim,
it would be detrimental. Whether or not it would be detrimental to your own party image, because you're practically dragging out a controversy which rested after a fair bit of mudslinging. The question I want to get you now on Shid, it should not have, possibly, because of course the family of Dr. Kalam has said that they want a memorial built in at his hometown. But there are so many, and Dr. Kalam was the people's president. His books, his veena, everything right now is at his residence here. So maybe possibly build a smaller monument here. Do you think that would have, made things easier for people to accept?
The suggestion of memorializing homes has been a very controversial issue, as you yourself have reported, Preeti.
Yes.
Within the VVIP zone in Delhi, there have been countless demands for, these VVIP bungalows to be converted, into memorials. For people like, Chaudhry Charan Singh, for several other leaders, there have been long-standing demands for their, original homes to be converted into bungalows, even though a decision has been taken by the government under directions from the court that this mustn't actually happen, and that there can be no more memorials as far as these homes are concerned. But notwithstanding that, there are demands from from certain political parties, including the Aam Aadmi Party, for a memorial to be built for Kalam. Roads have been renamed after him. Missile complex have been renamed after Kalam. So that issue, I think, is separate. The current issue, I think, is going to be centered around this particular allotment. What the desires of the family are, the sensitivities involved. I think we're going to see some ugliness, some fighting politically on that.
Well, they're going to keep trying and getting all the reactions, the political reactions on that. There would, in fact, be a popular backlash as well, where the people are concerned, because a lot of comments made by the culture minister, especially on Dr. Kalam, did not go down very well with the people of this country.